My name is David Fergusson. I'm from the National eScience Centre in the University of Edinburgh in the UK. I'm the co-chair with Malcolm Atkinson, and I help to do the overall organisation as well as running the integrating practical and making sure the other practicals are functioning at the summer school. Well, apart from the fact it pays my wages, it's very important essentially to help the competitiveness of the European economies. It's already been well documented in the Lisbon process and elsewhere that Europe needs to create a technology-focused workforce as part of developing its economy, and of course advanced computing is an important part of doing that, so we have to provide ways in which to rapidly develop the competence of as many people in Europe as possible during that period. And one of the ways of doing it is running events like this, where we help to educate the new researchers who are coming into the field, who will then provide the tools and the expertise that will help to teach the next group of people who are coming through the universities, and then help that move down through different layers of society to hopefully improve the ability of everybody in Europe to understand advanced computing. Grid computing really is, I suppose, one of the flavours of distributed computing, and we've had distributed computing for some time now, and I think it will continue in different forms. Will it always be the same form? No. Will it always be what we call grid computing now? Sort of, but there'll be different names, different formats will be coming along. What is particularly interesting now is the move by Microsoft and Apple and others to this idea of moving away from tying people's experience of computing to a particular device, a particular machine, and moving to the idea of having your workspace, your identity out there in, I don't want to call it the cloud, but in the ether, in something out there, which you then access with whichever device you feel like, and you use that to then use whatever resources are available to you. So I think that's probably, at least from the personal viewpoint, where what's now called grid computing is moving, and it means people will be much happier and much more used to the idea of distributed resources, of working with resources they don't see and they can't touch directly. And so that means distributed computing will continue, will expand in the future, but it won't look exactly the way it does today. Well, I suppose I could tell you about the first international grid school that I took part in 2004, which was a couple of months after I started working in the area of grids. And I discovered that I was presenting web services on the first day, which was fine, except that I discovered that my talk was then sandwiched between Ian Foster and Mirren Livney in the first session on the first day, which was kind of intimidating for your introduction to teaching grid computing. But it worked out fine, and Mirren and Ian are still heavily involved in the grid schools and supporting them, so they can't have been scared off by my incompetence completely.